Hey guys, welcome back to Grand Tactician. The last video I put out for Grand Tactician was just a battle video I wanted to share with guys, but this is going to be a start of a brand new series. Now, we tried to do the Confederate campaign before on the channel multiple times over now. I do realize that, however, this time I believe that it's going to be a little bit different because like I said in the battle video, fighting over Winchester, I do have a little bit of a knowledge that I didn't have before thanks to all the research, so I should be able to get some better videos out for you guys for this game. I will say that probably these videos will probably be an hour long or so, especially if there is a battle going on. I can't really edit those too much, so if we do go into a battle and when I do a video, please bear with me guys, because if I try to edit those too much, it just kind of looks jumpy as all get out. So I'll try to edit them as much as I can, but I think in terms of this game here, they're just gonna be the long video, unfortunately. But according to what my research tells me, if these types of videos are about an hour long, that is okay. But I always try to keep things within half an hour for you guys, but this particular game, I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm gonna fly right through chapter 1 because it's kinda pointless to stay in chapter 1, so I'm gonna run the game on 50 times speed on 50, on chapter 1, and then we'll go back to normal speed on chapter 2. Without further ado, let's get into it. Fort Sumner situation deteriorates. I do have it so that every time a newspaper comes up, I actually have to start and stop the game again. But I think when it comes to the policies and everything, that's going to be better. Not for these simple event newspapers, but like the ones that you get for completion of policies. I think that type of mechanic is going to be a little bit better, so that's how I set the game up. Okay, as you can see, we got year contracts, so at this point I'm going to start to build the Confederate army, and I'm going to build it in a specific way that concerns on manpower, so we don't use manpower too much. I'm just going to bring everything down to Beauregard and start over. Alright, we have Lee's division, we have James, and we also have Johnston. Lee's division is going to get 4 infantry brigades, 1 artillery battery. I use that as like support for the infantry. That's why I'm configuring my infantry divisions that way. We're also going to have a grand battery, but in terms of the infantry divisions, we're going to make sure that every single one of them has a battery with it. But these are only going to be light guns. So if we upgrade to, let's say, the James Rifle for the grand battery, the support artillery for the infantry divisions, we'll only use the Napoleon. Now, at the offset of the war, one of the easiest artillery to make once you get artillery cast is the 12-pen Napoleon. So I'm gonna make that the artillery standard for a while until we get the industry where it needs to be. Then we'll switch over to the James Rifle, then the rifle artillery, then the Barretts, etc. Okay, that's all of our infantry divisions ready to go. So now I'm going to actually just get the cavalry commander. I'm gonna have 1 cavalry commander because I don't use them very often. With 2, oh geez, don't want to do that. That really sucks. Actually, you know what? We can have 4 divisions. I'll just put the cavalry guys in their own little thing. That was kind of a mistake, but honestly, that might actually be something worthwhile. It was kind of a mistake, but I think it might be worthwhile overall. Now, let's make sure we bring everything down, huh? Okay, so now I'm gonna let's get 2 batteries of 5. is what we'll do. So 2 divisions of 5 batteries each. I think that should be enough since we used extra infantry divisions. Actually, I want to give the 1 infantry division a support battery before I forget. There we go. And let's see, let's go with 3 batteries. I think that's a nice number, honestly. 5 batteries per division. That will give us plenty of cannon firepower even with the weakest guns. And we're gonna name this army the Army of South Carolina. Army of South Carolina. And once again, we're just gonna bring the Florida State Militia down. You know what? We could actually, you know what we could do? I'll just transfer that 1 division over to the Florida State Militia, to be honest. So I'm gonna transfer that extra division we put in to the South Carolina Militia over to Florida State Militia. I want to transfer him. Oh, come on. Didn't work the way I wanted it to work. You know what? I think I have to click and drag the whole commander, the division. Hold up. I've never actually had to do this. So this is actually my first time actually using this mechanic, so bear with me. I'll put him, there we go. We just transferred a division over to the Florida State Militia. It's already being recruited, so that is good. Now we got our armies effectively set up the way we want them to be. I just gotta recruit the rest of the Florida State Militia's troops. I'm doing this now so I can basically save manpower, essentially, because we get a lot of manpower each month that goes to our recruitment queue. So I'm building these armies now so we can save manpower later. 4 and 1. Let's get, actually, we'll get 3 division commanders, and we don't want him directly under the main general. Actually, we probably want him to, actually, he is his own separate division, that's right. So let's get rid of at least one of these, and then we'll just recruit what needs to be done here. Make sure he gets his, what will be the 12-pounder Napoleon, his support battery. I'm going to move some guys, because again, I screwed up, but that's alright. We can just move a few over to the next guy here. 1 more. Okay, there we go. We got 3 divisions of infantry here, each one with a support battery. And then we'll actually do the 2 divisions, or the 1 division of 2 brigades of cavalry. Actually, let's do 1,500. So what I'll do is I'll say 3 brigades of cavalry. At the lowest amount should be about 1,500, and then we'll just transfer the artillery over to this guy and just add 3 more. And that should be the first artillery battery of Florida's militia, and then I'll get 2 more. Actually, he has 3. Okay, so we'll give Florida State Militia 2 more. Actually, I think we need 1 more for this dude here. 2 more. Actually, I think 2 more. We'll just give him 1, and then we'll say 1 more on his end. There we go, and then straight up 5 for this guy. Alright, how much artillery is in per army? About 63 guns. Should be around the same for Beauregard. No, there's 108 guns. Why is that? That means that Florida State Militia is missing some guns. Well, let me take a look. You know what? It doesn't matter, honestly. It's a little less, but it's not much. So let's just continue with the game here and let them do their thing. Actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do an industry policy next, and then we'll get money to the military after that, just so we can get the industry rolling here. It's gonna take me a while to get used to the fact that I have to unpause this every time, but I'll get used to it. I think overall it's gonna be better, because that way when a policy ends, it's not going full bore as soon as I X out of the newspaper. So I think overall it'll be better that way, but we should be right behind the Union on that regard there. That's kind of why I did that, so that we'd be neck and neck with them. Okay, Confederate industry is now done, so I'm gonna work on getting the money to the military at this point. I'm gonna get the administrative policy here, and we're going to get money to the military. We'll still be ahead of the Union overall, because we'll get money to the military a little bit before they do. And once we do that, I'm gonna really focus on the industry, to be perfectly honest. Or, you know what, I might even get 2-year contracts so we can extend the soldiers we have until 2 years, so that they're not leaving within a year. So I'm gonna go right into 2-year contracts as soon as we get money to the military. But we're gonna go right into chapter 2 with the money to the military still working on getting done. But we're gonna get it shortly after we go into chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 is about to start in a few days here, maybe even a day or something like that. Yeah, I think it's within a day. Yeah, April 14th. Now, for my benefit, I am gonna watch the chapter videos because they help me keep track of where I'm at in the war, and it tells me what to expect. However, I'll probably edit those out for you guys so you don't have to watch them. Now, I'm gonna change the names of the armies here. Oh, I already did that, at least for this one. Florida State Militia, we need to change this to the 1st Army of Florida. 1st Army of Florida. Yeah, this is more beneficial, honestly. I'm gonna send the 1st Army of Florida up to Alexandria, and then I'm gonna send Army of South Carolina under PGP Beauregard to effectively Winchester. Crap. One thing I don't like is when you click on an army, it goes directly to the army's current position, which in hindsight, that's fine. But like when you're trying to move an army to a certain particular spot, it's like, why can't we keep the camera at the place that it's at, you know, and still move, if that makes sense. And we got this on 5 times normal speed. How much longer do we have on this money to the military thing? It can't be much more. 9 days. Okay. And then we're gonna hammer into, there we go. 5 times speed. Oh, I need to start building the Navy too before I forget. So, yeah, let's do the James River Squadron here. And I'm gonna give it some squirrel sloops here.
Do you want leftover chicken? Leftover lasagna?
I thought you were doing eggs.
I decided there was leftovers.
Chicken. Alright, so let's start getting a fleet going here. Okay. We want to build about, say, 6 of these, and by the time these are built, these should give us enough firepower to free up the blockades here. They're not going to be built in time, but once they are, it should give us enough firepower to free up the blockades. Okay, we got a new project. Alright, so that being, well, I mean, is that the Springfield musket? Yes, it is. I'm going to save to get artillery casting, because to get the standardization on the artillery is going to take longer than it is for us to get the standardization on the rifled musket. So I'm going to actually save that, unlock the artillery cast, and then start with some small batches of Napoleons here, and probably keep the cursor up there so I can unlock it as soon as it comes out, and we can start cranking these out, because artillery is going to take a while, guys, to crank out. So that's why I kind of want to get started on that immediately. Okay, still don't have it. Alright, so we'll go 5 times speed yet again. That project has got to be almost done. Yeah, we got like 3.5 days on that. We might even have let's check how far we are from that. Not very far at all, honestly. So we might even have artillery cast before we even get the project done, to be perfectly honest. Maybe not though. And here comes the 1st Army of Florida up to, what's it called, Alexandria, Virginia, to guard there. And the AI is going to go through Missouri real quick. But as of right now, we don't have the manpower to cover every single flank here. So we're going to have to leave some of the areas open a bit. Okay, we got money to the military. And so now I'm going to start on 2-year contracts. Kind of try to get head on the union in that regard, and then I'll start spamming out industry policies as well. And then we'll probably go economic as soon as that's done. Maybe we should get armed civilian ships after 2-year contracts, and then we'll do industry and whatnot. Because I want this to be an industrial playthrough. For once, I want to see the South have the industry that the Union has, so that we're able to crank out the weapons domestically and get them cheaper. And we got money to the military just before the Union did. So right now, we're really neck and neck. I mean, maybe we'll go with rifle artillery, but we'd have to save more to do that. We would have to use the crappy 24-pounder howitzers in the earlier game for longer, but it might be worth it. I don't know. It's really a gamble, to be honest. Artillery reform, cavalry reform. Okay, Springfield rifles. We still can't get the artillery cast just yet. Just kind of trying to save to get the artillery cast, which we'll have in a few moments. Yeah, we basically have that at this point. It won't be too much longer until we have that. Okay, so now at this point we do have it, and a bunch of other stuff too that we can get as well. Artillery cast. And so now I'm gonna place an order for these Napoleons, because I don't want to really do the James Rifle right now because our industry is kind of crappy. I'm just gonna kind of mass produce the Napoleon. Eventually we're gonna have to get the standardization up on the James Rifle as well, but I want to start with Napoleon until we have more money coming into the industry subsidy, and then I will slowly integrate the James Rifle into the army. It's just so much easier to build the Napoleon, honestly. So much easier and cheaper. I mean, we can get the Napoleon done in 10 more days than we can the James. So, however, I'm half tempted to get the James anyways, just because, you know what, let's just do it. I'll start with an order of 8 pieces. We'll get it in about 2 months and 10 days or so, somewhere around in there. But I will see you guys next time, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm looking forward to the future of this campaign now that I'm using my information correctly. So I'll see you guys next time. God bless.